So good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the regular council meeting of the District of Summerland Council for June 8th, and that's for the timer. So call this meeting to order, and could we have a motion to adopt the minutes from May 25th, please? Councillor Booth, Councillor Peak, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, corporate officer, we've got some amendments to the agenda.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first amendment is under item 10.2, temporary use permit 49114 Hoofbeat. That council report has been updated and it is available on the table there. As well, item 11.12 is a report from staff on committee appointments, and item 12.1 Councillor Boot is going to discuss hospital laundry workers and interior health. And I just need a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
Okay, could I have a motion to adopt as amended, please? Councillor Barkwell, Councillor Holmes, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we move on to delegations. So we have a delegation of, I guess Eva's not here, is she?
Ava's here.
Oh, she is. In the background.
Ava,
Okay,
yeah.
we have Vicki Lightfoot to give us a representation of information on cell towers.
Before I begin, is it okay if I just acknowledge some of the people in the audience?
Yes, it eats into your 5 minutes, but go ahead.
It does eat into my 5 minutes, okay.
Thank you.
I'd just like to welcome Dr. Malcolm Patterson.
Yes, by all
Dr.
means.
Patterson is a molecular oncologist. He was one of the signatories to the petition to the UN to change the classification of RF radiation from a Class B to a Class A, 2A.
Yes, thank you. He's
Okay.
a well-recognized expert. Thank you.
I have a number of slides, and is the timer now on?
You're good to go.
Okay, so news of TELUS's upgrade to a 4G system was very disturbing to all of us who live in close proximity to the tower. Anytime that a new antenna or transmitter has been added to the tower, we have let our feelings known to Council and to TELUS. We have measured the emissions constantly since the tower was first installed in 2009, and the microwave radiation emitting from the tower has steadily increased over the years, and we are not happy that TELUS is now going, and probably already has, gone to a 4G system that will allow more microwave radiation to penetrate into our homes. We were told originally that the tower was to ensure cell coverage for dead zones in Summerland, and that is not the case today. The cell tower is used for a lot more than just cell coverage. So RF radiation, industry and science, we both agree that these things produce radiation, no disagreement there. And just recently an expert at the Fortis hearings in Kelowna, when they were going to smart meters, a scientist acknowledged for industry that yes, we do know that the body reacts to it. Where the difference lies is that industry say that that reaction in our body does not lead to harm. Scientific evidence disagrees. The science is solid. Our bodies do react when it's exposed to long-term, non-ionic, non-thermal radiation. This is what the radiation emits from the tower. Those living within 50 to 300 meters are in the highest radiation zone. There are several people here in the audience tonight who live within that zone. What is new since 2009? A lot has changed since 2009. The first thing is that in May 31st of 2011, the World Health Organization, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, an umbrella agency of the world of WHO, classified this radiation as a Class 2B potential carcinogen. It is in the same category as lead and DDT, both of which are banned in Canada. And in May 2012, approximately 200 scientists, including Malcolm Patterson in the back, petitioned the UN to have it increase to a 2A probable carcinogen. When the World Health Organization lists something as a toxin, it has never been taken off the list. It has only ever been upgraded. Before this happened, when we petitioned Health Canada, they said they only consider toxins that the World Health Organization has listed. After the World Health Organization did this, we asked Health Canada, what now? They said, well, we don't listen to the World Health Organization, we make our own list. The Bioinitiative report came out in 2012. It was a report by 29 independent international scientists, many with more than one PhD, showing studies that, with peer-reviewed scientific studies showing harm from overexposure to this radiation. In 2015, just most recently, the House of Commons Standing Committee on Health, HESA, investigated Health Canada's policies with regard to RF radiation. Scientists and members of Parliament questioned Health Canada for rejecting scientific studies showing harm. Right now, where we are with that, those studies have been sent back to Health Canada to explain why they rejected this. This was from a Royal Commission set up by Health Canada to review their safety standards for RF radiation. Terence Young, a Conservative MP, is quoted as saying, just last week, we are in a super radiation from cell phone towers. There are more, but I don't have enough time to list all the things that contribute to it. So this is condensed. Health Canada, the department charged with helping Canadians maintain and improve their health, is failing to do its job. And here we have the limits, but set by countries. I can't go into the physics of this, but Canada has allows 10 million microwatts per meter squared density of their frequencies compared to other countries. They only acknowledge harm when your body heats to radiation. Health Canada does not acknowledge harm due to non-thermal radiation, which doesn't make sense. Our bodies do react to non-thermal, non-ionic radiation. This is what has happened in the Court of Appeal, Quebec Court of Appeal. The Quebec Court of Appeal is so solid. It's one of the most progressive courts, and whenever they are appealed, any decisions by this court, only about 7% are ever overturned. This was by a community that told Rogers they had to take down a tower that was on private property. Rogers took them to court. It went to the Court of Appeal, and the municipality won. The court recognized that a community can designate an alternative location for radio communication equipment because of their concern for the well-being of its citizens. The City of Colwood has a policy in place. I have those with me right here that I will give to you. Their purpose was to have a policy for the siting of antennas and other radio frequency equipment. The District of Metchosin has the same thing, and that's quite progressive. This is their policy. The District of Metchosin does not support the installation of devices in areas where people live, work, or attend school. Further, the district's intention is to work toward having the power output and power density of the existing devices reduced to levels recommended by current studies by independent scientists. Okay. A few months ago, Lloyd's of London announced that they have dropped all insurance of anybody who produces or installs wireless devices. Any time company you have a wireless devices and there's harm proven, there's no insurance. The person that caused the harm will be liable. This is very remarkable and this is something I would really like the municipality to find out. It's on our property. Would we be liable too? There is a petition before the UN to reclassify this from a 2B to a 2A. And if that were to happen, there undoubtedly would have been harm done to people living in proximity of this tower. And the petition's already before the UN. I have no doubt that it will be reclassified in the future. Landlords who lease space for cell towers are completely unaware of the potential for injury from RF transmitting antennas and that they will be held liable for such injuries. Prior to the lease sign, the cell tower company has a duty to warn. And I know as a fact that warning wasn't given by TELUS. The unsuspecting landlords and the insurers of the RF rating hazards associated with the leasee's equipment. If challenged in court, there could be hundreds of thousands or more in legal fees associated with RF injury, especially if RF radiation is classified at 2A. probable carcinogen. Now, I hate going the lawyer route, well, you could be liable. But it's just significant that the Lloyds of London would write, they actually wrote all the school boards with Wi-Fi and told them, you have no insurance if there is ever harm connected with those Wi-Fi routers. The ones in the schools are industrial in nature, so they emit quite high. This was a study done in Punjab University in Mumbai that experimented with bees. How much time do I have?
You're running close.
Okay.
Carry on.
So all the pollinators, and I know from talking to my neighbors that, and I have too, the bats are gone, the bees are gone, everything's disappeared. We can't rule out, knowing what we do from science, we can't rule out that it's because of the tower. We quite simply can't. Here's what we can do. As a community, we can establish local cell tower siting policy, similar to Metchosin and Colwood, and including microcell antennas in lieu of cell towers. So when telecom industries are faced with this and can't put a tower in, we see them putting in these microcell towers right next to people's homes who are totally unaware of the radio frequencies that they are now being exposed to. So a policy needs to include the microcell towers that are popping up everywhere. We need to apply the precautionary principle, ALARA, as low as reasonably achievable. How much radiation at what frequency does TELUS really need to go to have cell coverage? They can go a lot lower, much, much lower, just to supply cell coverage. We need to minimize ambient RF radiation exposures in sensitive areas, neighborhoods where people live, schools, agricultural areas, and monitor RF radiation. We have monitored it, and it wasn't free. We've had to buy expensive equipment to do this, and I think it should be the responsibility of industry and of government to measure the radiation frequencies. Questions or comments?
Any quick questions from council? Councillor Barkwell.
Does Rogers have cell towers here that are concerned, or is it?
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago, Ava, or 2 years ago, that Rogers piggybacked on, they're on the tower now as well. And Rogers has another one, I think, out where you are, they have one. In 1999, Rogers was going to put one on Giant's Head, and there was a community, at that time, we had a little bit more clout, I think, as a community, and Rogers left and didn't do it. And then in 2007, TELUS applied to lease this land from the municipality, and then they erected in 2009. Yeah.
Councillor Peak.
I would say, in the communities that I've represented elsewhere, we've had siting policies, and I think it's a very important step forward. I would really hope that perhaps we could have a report come back from our own staff, and that we look forward to doing some of the measures that you people are interested in having available.
We actually did do some, and we have photocopies of it. It's an expert, we haven't taken it to the expert yet, but we did have the meters up on the weekend, and we do have the measurements. It's quite high. And we will be giving this to a expert to assess a little better for us, and we'll have copies for you too.
Anything you have, you can leave with staff on the side table. Any other questions from council this time? No, there's no other room at this point. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vicki. A good presentation, and we all certainly move to investigate further with staff. Thank you very much. I'll just leave it with staff on the side. Thank you. Just, with the, thank you.
Thank you, Vicki, very much.
So now, thank you very much. We can move ahead for the public opportunity for commentary. 2 minutes per speaker on any agenda item that is not, that is covered by, that is highlighted. So I'd prefer not to extend the presentation of the delegation, if that's the intent of some people, because we've had a pretty complete dissertation by Ms. Lightfoot. But if you, okay, you can if you like, but I'd like you to please keep it short, because it wasn't the intent to have the delegation and then to have a whole number of people take up time, because there may
Okay.
be other members of
Sure.
the public that want to speak to
Of course.
other agenda
I'll,
items. So
I'll keep my comments
thank
very
you.
brief.
Yeah, thank you.
I live within the deep blue zone that showed up on that slide. I've lived there since early 1970s. And since the advent of the tower, I'm not a scientist, I have no solid fact behind it, just the observation. Prior to the tower, there were marmots, there were groundhogs, there were moles we could do without. There has been a dramatic decrease in all wildlife. As a personal observation only, I was feeding a 50-pound bag of bird seed every 10 days to birds. They're not there. The bats aren't there. The red-tailed hawks, the eagles, the bees, the rufous-sided towhee, the goldfinches, very few raptors are there anymore. And it's been since the advent of the tower. And knowing what we do about microwave radiation, we can't rule out that the tower has a great deal to do with the disappearance of the wildlife. Even the earthworms are not there. So thank you very much, Council,
Thank you.
Mayor Waterman.
Thank you. Any other public comment on any of the highlighted items in the agenda? Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Hello,
This is
greetings.
Referencing any particular one?
Yes, I'm referencing 11.5, grant-in aid requests. My name's Elaine Watts. I'm here on behalf of the Summerland Community Arts Council to request some funding for the Wednesdays on the Water program this summer. I believe council has a bit of a package that was prepared by
Yes.
our summer intern. So Wednesdays on the Water is a free community concert series that started last summer and ran for 4 weeks during the month of August. It featured local musicians and it had a youth night. All the musicians were paid a small honorarium, and that was sponsored by 12 different local businesses and including the District of Summerland. We had 750 people attend over the 4 nights last year. This year, we're intending on running Wednesdays on the Water for 8 weeks, starting July 8th. There was a very positive response from the public, and there's been inquiries about it already when we were starting. And it'll be featuring, again, local musicians, sponsored by local businesses. We're asking the District of Summerland for $700 to put towards the hiring of musicians for this event. We're expecting about 2,400 people to attend this year if we get 300 people a night. And so far, we have 3 confirmed businesses sponsoring us, and we're waiting to hear back from about 20 more.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hearing none, we will move ahead with, I guess it's the mayor's report for this evening. So we've just had a fantastic weekend. We had great weather and tremendous participation by athletes especially. And I'd like to extend my appreciation to the Action Festival Committee, Chair Pat Bell and his team for a job very well done, and a special thank you to all the volunteers and the staff involved. All venues seem to be well attended, including the Kinsman Beverage Garden. That's not too amazing in that it was so hot. And I'd like to thank my wife and 2 grandchildren, Hannah and Kayla, for being with me in the lead car for the Action Fest parade. On top of all that, the music was fantastic with a great set of CCR renditions. Not that I only cared about CCR, but it is part of my history, okay? So, and yours truly and his wife managed to get up on their feet. Nobody threw anything, but so that's okay. In addition, there were other events I had the pleasure of attending in the last couple of weeks. The big one was the 100th anniversary of the Kettle Valley Steam Railway, which included a special commemorative run and an unveiling of a special stamp of an old red caboose by Mr. Gus Boersma. And Gus is president of the Philatelist Club and an ex-councillor from Penticton. This was all followed by a barbecue and cake. And given it's 100 years ago, I'm pretty sure my grandfather was at the inaugural run 100 years ago as a representative from the Princeton Light Coal Company. Last week, a joint meeting of the Okanagan Basin Water Board and Water Stewardship Council took place. This is the science advisory group, that is a stewardship council, to support the Water Basin Board. It was held down at the Summerland Lakeshore Resort. Now, most importantly, for the last couple of weeks, we've been gathering steam here. Our corporate officer, Maureen Fujita, is enjoying her last council meeting. That may not be the adjective she would pursue, but at any rate, she is about to retire. Maureen started with the city of Penticton in 1989.
She looks pretty good.
I was there, okay? She went to the RCMP and back to the city of Penticton and on to Summerland as a deputy corporate officer in 2008 and has been our corporate officer since 2011. On behalf of council and staff, I'd like to thank Maureen for her years of dedicated service to this administration and the Summerland community. And in addition, she's been kind, patient, and generous to me in my new role, and I thoroughly appreciate her willingness to help. You'll be greatly missed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Oh, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we have our CAO's report.
Okay, I handed out CAO report, so I won't read it. I just wanted to bring a couple of things. Two councillors asked about watering restrictions earlier, and I included a little bit about water restrictions in the CAO report. The section of the policy that, section of the bylaw that's relevant to water, which gives the Director of Public Works and Utilities, he makes the call for what stage we go into. And I also just included a little sample of the graph that we use, that Public Works uses to determine when we move from stage 1 to 3 and 4. In talking to our Works Department, I learned a lot as well on the factors that go in if we do restrict too early, that we have to spill too much, and other factors. They, at a future council meeting, will be doing a full report so that we can better understand what goes behind making the decisions on water restrictions. But there's a little bit of information here for your interest. And just a note that the HST, we did determine that there is an issue with HST on to do with our billing to some customers, and that report will be coming forward to the June 22nd council meeting. If there's any other questions on my report, I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move ahead to 9.1, correspondence. So,
Yes,
Corporate Officer?
yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 9.1, correspondence, that is informational items for council and for the public, and it's just to be received by council.
Thank you. We have a motion to receive the report, please. Councillor Peak, Councillor Trainer, all in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed. Okay. 9.2, this again is correspondence, but it's the committee commission minutes. So we have the Climate Action Committee.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Climate Action Committee meeting minutes dated April 16th to be received by council.
Have a motion to that effect, please. Councillor Barkle, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Carlson. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed. Okay, we're moving on to 10.1, Development Services Reports. 10.1 is a development variance permit for 5914 Gartrell Road. And I guess you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you mentioned, this is an application for a development variance permit. The site is located at the intersection of Gartrell Road and Happy Valley Road in Summerland. It's approximately 8 acres in size. There's a winery on the property at the moment. It's zoned A1 agriculture, and it is located in the center of the agricultural land reserve. The proponents are wishing to construct a winery building on the site, and they want to put it in the upper left corner of the building, or of the property, which is not currently developed with either vineyards or other buildings. And the setback required from a side exterior property line, which would be Gartrell Road, is 15 meters, and the setback required from a side interior lot line to the north would be 30 meters. And they're looking to reduce the side exterior from 15 down to 4.5, and from 30 meters down to 4 meters. The site is constrained with 2 environmentally sensitive areas, wetlands on the property. As well, there is significant topography that they've used to their advantage for the vineyard planting, but again, constrains the property. The proposed building is designed to face away from adjacent neighbors, and there is a large cedar hedge located on the adjacent property to the north, which will screen the proposed building from the neighbors. The application was circulated to neighboring property owners and as well to our internal staff, and Public Works have noted in the recommendation that they would support the application provided that the existing fence currently encroaching onto the road be relocated onto private property, that the existing vegetation on the boulevard along the property line be either removed or cut down to a height no greater than 0.9 meters to aid with driveway safety and sight lines, and that the existing driveway be relocated a minimum of 15 meters to the east to ensure sight line distances in accordance with the Transportation Association of Canada. So that line there shows where the bylaw setbacks that are required to locate a building in an agricultural building in the A1 zone. And the building, that is the proposed building, and that is essentially a photograph of the corner, northeast corner of the site where the building is proposed. So this certainly is a significant variance. The purpose of these large setbacks in the A1 zone is to try and limit noise and nuisance concerns. The site is zoned for agricultural use. It is located within the ALR and is in an agricultural precinct. The most efficient use of the site would be to allow the variance and turn the residential portion of the site into agricultural use as well. The proposed building is designed to minimize conflict with the neighbors and avoids environmental and topographical constraints. This is certainly a significant variance. However, staff could recommend approval, provided that the application has support from neighboring property owners. Thank you.
So is there any comment from the public at this time? Would the proponent like to address council? Go ahead, Mr. Giannotti. Give us your name and designation, please.
Hello, my name is George Giannotti. I'm representing the owner's application here tonight. Mainly I'm here to sort of fill in any blanks that the councillors may have on this application. Ian's basically alluded to all the issues that we've had in trying to locate this building on the site. Other than where the vines are located and the ESA areas are located, there's not much available space left. The center of the property, on the center of the property, is the previous sales area and winery buildings. And at this point, we cannot locate the processing structure at this spot because of the future building that will come for the sales area. And again, there's huge rock issues there and ESA areas there as well. The corner that the proponents have chosen to locate this building has previously been used for automobile repair areas, and just recently, within the last 5 years, as a wine processing area. The two current buildings that are located side by side currently have wine storage in them, and they are of a size that you just can't do anything. In fact, I'm amazed at how they've got the vats in there located, because you just can't even walk around them. So they're very, very constrained. And again, for the process of what the owners are currently anticipating, they need the facilities to process and bottle their product. This area has been disturbed. There's a septic system under this area that has to be relocated. There is large concrete slabs that from a previous structure that have to be removed. And the way we've situated this building is that we can construct the actual 40 by 80 structure but not the overhang, the 20 by 80 structure. And what we've done, when we get the building up, then we can move the wine into the structure, demolish the buildings and the surrounding slabs and everything, and then create the overhang, which is the processing area. So it's a double stage issue. And that's just to try to fit this structure in. The size of the structure, if you look at the side of it, the original, when we came into the picture, the original building was going to be 26 feet high at the furthest left side of the view. We've subsequently toned that down to be more compatible with what may look like a surrounding house, basically. We've toned it down quite a bit, and also it reduces the volume of air inside the structure that has to be either cooled or heated for the different vines or the juices that have to be treated. Other than that, like I said, we've had some initiative to go around to the neighbors just to make sure that we want to let everybody know what's happening in this intersection. We have not consulted all the neighbors surrounding the entire property, and we know during the public process that is going to happen. We just wanted to make sure that we get to basically first base, that if the neighbors surrounding the immediate structure are and generally happy with what's going on there, then we would pursue the next stages of it. So, and it appears that everybody's on side. I think some of them are in the crowd here tonight. If they've any other thing they'd like to add, I'm sure they can come up and add their issues. And if there's anything councilors would like
Thank
to question, we can help.
Appreciate
Also,
that.
we have the owners here too, that if there's any technical questions regarding their operations, they'd love to promote themselves. Mr. C is also a environmental consultant, and he's very thrilled. The reason he bought this site was because of those two areas that he's now enhancing for his operations. They've done a massive cleanup of this site already. I don't know if anybody's been around it since they've taken over, but the property looks really good. The only issues they have is actually that the corporation water running down Gartrell is flooding them out. So that's something that we'll be dealing with down the road.
See, one issue at a time.
Yes.
Any questions by councillors of Mr. Giannotti or staff? Councillor Peak?
I'm not quite sure who I'm addressing, but my question would be, in a wine production building such as will be on that site, is there any noise factor involved? I'm not being aware of that kind of production.
The equipment nowadays, and Michael maybe, he's the general manager of the he can verify that a lot of the machines now that come from Europe, they're all, they're not the old-fashioned pipe, they're all electric motors, and that's it, so there'll be a large power consumption. So there's no mechanical motors, and there actually is, when during the bottling process, there's actually a big trailer that comes around, and that's also all mechanized with motors. There's no, banging or things like that. The building is insulated. This building's got, I believe, R20 insulation in the walls and R40 in the ceiling, which is basically equivalent to a house. But on the back wall, and that's the north wall, that has got 8 inches of a special insulation. It's rock salt insulation. It's fireproof, and it's required there to create a 2-hour firewall. The entire inside of this building is lined with sheet metal as well, and so it's pretty soundproof. Everything that's done in there is going to be quite quiet. I don't know, other than a, a tractor coming in and out delivering the grapes and the forklift on the site, Michael, I don't think there's anything else?
Just about 2-3 weeks in a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. My other point, it's nice that the neighbor has a great cedar hedge. I think that's great camouflage and creates a barrier between the properties. I would hope that everyone is helpful in making that sure that it's maintained.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be important for any property owner beside an operation like this.
Counselor Trainer?
So the current building that's located a bit further
This
to the east.
sounds like this question may be for staff more than the
I was just going
proponent.
to ask him, is that going to stay as the tasting room?
Sorry, which building?
The
Further
building
east?
that's the current winery.
Look,
the
in the middle of the
existing one.
property?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
currently it's going to stay as that.
Okay, so the one up at the top that you're asking about.
Yes.
That's just going to be for making wine?
Correctly. Yeah,
Okay.
just the
Do you have any
process.
concerns about parking or traffic there? I guess maybe that question would be for Ian as well.
Mr. Mayor, the requirements for parking can be accommodated on the very large site, and before they get a building permit to construct that, they will have to meet that requirement.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And there will be no public at this location. All right, it's strictly for the workers, yeah.
So, have a seat if you like, Mr.
Yeah.
Giannotti, and we'll see whether councillors have questions of our staff. Councillor Holmes?
Have we received any correspondence from neighbors or?
I'm not aware of any correspondence.
No, we haven't received any.
Other than the proponent, if he would like to speak, he's free to do so, or anybody else from the public who may be in the neighborhood and wants to address council, please come forward. Yes, ma'am. Just give us your name and address, please.
I am Geraldine Cote, and I live at 7805 Giants Head Road. I'm the one with the cedar hedge.
Ah, okay.
I am not concerned of noise because I understand I'm getting a insulated fence around also, which will be fine. And we had a pretty junky winery there before with where they did the wine, so this sounds like it's really going to be a state-of-the-art and be improved. What I am concerned of is Gartrell Road is like a speedway. A lot of traffic. Any possibility there could be a stop sign somewhere. That's it. Because now, I mean, there's going to be more traffic. It's very narrow coming up. And it's just an accident waiting to happen.
Thank you. I think some of the
It's really
staff
bad.
report has addressed some of that, but I think they'll take that under advice.
Okay, just a
to
stop
look at
sign
it
that
more
people have to
carefully.
stop, maybe before their gate, like, because I think they're moving the gate down a little bit. So I don't know, but there needs to be a stop sign there, because obviously there will be vehicles going in and out and, you know,
It's worth looking at.
bringing in supplies and whatever. So that's my concern,
Thank you.
but not exactly the
Good.
new winery position going in.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Is another person? That's it. Anybody else from the public or the proponent? No? Council?
I've got comments, but not questions, so we'll
Okay.
put it in discussion.
Just questions. Okay. I'd like to have somebody bring the resolution forward, please. Councillor Peak?
The council passed the following resolution, that the development variance permit application to vary section 8.1.6B to allow a winery to be located 4.0 meters from an interior side yard and 4.5 meters from an exterior side yard on Lot 3, DL 508, ODYD Plan KAP 64229, located at 5914 Gartrell Road, be approved subject to the following conditions. The existing fence currently encroaching in the right-of-way be relocated onto private property. 2, the existing vegetation in the boulevard along the property line adjacent to Gartrell Road be removed or cut down to a height no greater than 0.9 meters to improve driveway safety. 3, the existing driveway be relocated to a minimum of 15 meters to the east to ensure minimum sight line distances in accordance with Transportation Association of Canada design controls.
Thank you. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Trainer? Okay, we're open for discussion from council. Councillor Barkwell?
I had an opportunity to tour the property and actually have a look at where this is going to go and kind of get a feel for it. And it seems like it's a good use of that location and will definitely be an improvement. And if the neighbor doesn't object, you know, a lot hinges there, and she apparently does not object. I haven't heard any reason why we wouldn't go for this. Anybody have any reasons?
Councillor Peak?
I would like to say that I like the fact that it's a level area that's already been disrupted and had activity on it, rather than removing any growth in the wine area in the farmland. And that it seems, when I looked at the property too, I didn't tour it as Richard did, but I did look at it, I felt that it was sort of tucked away in the corner, that it was probably a good use in terms of the lands and the available area to actually do this type of construction on. So at this point, I have no problems with the application coming forward.
Councillor Carlson?
I was also able to go and have a tour, and I think that the amount of effort and money that will go into improving this property is pretty substantial, and I think that it's a good thing for a corner lot like this. I know that they are planning to rebuild the other building that is on the site, and I think we need to remember when that happens to make sure that it also is in accordance with all the rules that are laid out. Because if we follow the rules, I think we should let people do the things that they want to and need to do to be successful. So given that this is a permissible thing within the Agricultural Land Act, I think that we should go ahead and allow this to happen and just ensure that everyone who is producing wine on their ag land is doing so in accordance with the rules. So I think that we should welcome them to Summerland.
Councillor Booth?
I agree with the other three councillors that have already spoken. I had the opportunity on Friday morning to meet with the general manager to tour the site, which was I found very helpful, because looking at pieces of paper, it's hard to really get the lay of the land. I totally agree. In that particular area where the old winery or the production facility now sits, it's the perfect spot. It's nice and flat. It comes off of the roadway there, and I understand that that was going to be the
Entranceway?
driveway, for lack of a better word, is going to be enhanced. Hearing that there is not an issue with the immediate neighbors to the north, thank you. That satisfies me. I know that there is going to have to be an enlarged septic field put in to accommodate the work that's being done there, but all of those plans seem to be in place. So I would like to see this move forward as well. Thank you.
Any other councillor comments or discussion?
I'm good.
You're good. I think you're good. Yes, I guess the only concern I have is that we are making major variance, or as a major variance to our existing guidelines. And I guess if I'm correct, that if we are looking at positioning this building, and it's restricted in some manner because of the existing building itself. So, you know, the proponents are saying that, you know, the overhang will be delayed so that they can still run the facility. I understand that. But I'm just also wondering whether anything has been discussed with regard to how they might facilitate their wine production in some other facility for a short period of time. But in essence, that's not really what we're being asked here. So I'm good with the variance, but you know, I'm a little concerned that the building needn't be as close to those lines as it could be. And I guess we're past the point of questions, but I'm willing to let this move forward as it is. So, we had a seconder, didn't we? Yes.
Yep.
So, okay, so I'd like to call for the vote, please. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is passed, none opposed. Thank you very much. So the next issue is 10.2, temporary use permit for 9114 Hoofbeat Street. We're up to Ian again.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a temporary use permit to allow an agritourism use in accordance with the district bylaws and the Agricultural Land Commission rules. This application was first brought to council on the May 11th, 2015 meeting, and the application was referred back to staff to address 3 particular concerns with the application. And the first concern was there was some question as to whether the application strictly complied with the Agricultural Land Reserve regulation that requires the total area of any agritourism accommodation development not to exceed 5% of the parcel area. And the question was whether accesses shared by farm operation and agritourism use were included in the 5%. And the applicants have simply addressed this concern by reducing the road length and changing the location of the RV sites so that the entire access falls within the 5% regulation. The second concern council had was clarification as to whether 3 additional RV sites not shown on the proposed plan would exceed the ALR regulation that limits agritourism accommodation to 10. The applicants have confirmed there are 3 additional sites that were meant for family members and were not to be part of the commercial development. However, the applicants again have addressed this concern by agreeing to remove 2 of the 3 spaces, keeping 1 space to be used only for the storage of their own personal RV. And the third issue for council was that they noted locations of the agricultural operations differed from those noted on the plans, and there was some concern over the location of horse paddocks given provincial recommendations in their best practices guide. And the temporary use permit application is issued at the discretion of council, and other agricultural use of the property must meet the regulations in our zoning bylaw for the A1 agriculture zone and the requirements of the Agricultural Land Commission Act. There's no particular requirement in either regulation as to where a particular agricultural use is to be located, and the revised plan shows the location of the proposed agritourism use that is the subject of the application, and the remainder of the property can only be used for agriculture and must maintain farm status to meet the terms of the temporary use permit. So given that council's concerns seem to have been addressed by the applicant, the application is supported. Thank you.
Thank you. So, councilors, any, actually, we do have an invitation here to the public if they'd like to make comment. Anybody from the public want to comment on this particular temporary use? Okay, hearing none. Council, have you got any questions of Development Service? Oh, you have, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Thank you,
We have
Mr.
a
Mayor.
letter?
We did receive one letter from adjacent property owners, Scott and Jessica McDermott, James and Linda Lancaster, and Donald and Melanie Walker. And they are concerned with the noise, the RV pads being in close proximity to their homes, use of vehicles, generator, and general noise. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, council's questions of staff. Councilor Carlson.
My question is, how are the rules within a temporary permit, how are they enforced over the 3-year period to ensure that they're being followed?
Director of Development Services, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The terms of the temporary use permit are in the staff report, and there's a number of them there that are required by the Agricultural Land Commission as well as by District of Summerland. And enforcement of those is based, as in all our bylaws, on complaint issues. So if there is some complaint that the proponents are not meeting the terms of their permit, bylaw enforcement would go out and pay them a visit. And the permit states that if the proponent doesn't meet the conditions of the permit, then it can be revoked. and the use would go back to what's allowed in our bylaw under the A1 zoning.
Thank you. And this is a 3-year temporary use permit, comes up for renewal?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. The permit, if it's issued, would be for 3 years, and then there would be one opportunity to extend, and then if they wanted to go beyond that, they would need to reapply.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Carlson?
Does
Yeah.
that mean that if the neighbors do have noise complaints, there's a certain action, certain number of actions to be taken before anything changes?
Our normal bylaw approach, Mr. Mayor, is if we had, there is a quiet time that's required as a condition of the permit from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. That must be enforced by the permit holder. If that is a condition of the permit, so if there are noise complaints as deemed by our bylaw control officer, they would go out and explain that to the proponents, and if that doesn't fix the issue, then additional action would be taken.
Thank you. Any other questions of staff? Councillor Peak?
The change in the application is that the driveway or the route taken to get to these sites has been considerably shortened, am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
So there'll be less driving to, there'll be less noise about the driving because of that. They are only allowed one fire pit for all of these sites, so they're not fire pits on each of the pads?
That is correct.
Okay, and I make note of the fact that the Advisory Planning Commission also supported the application coming forward.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of staff? Hearing none, would someone like to bring the recommendation forward, please? Councillor Barkwell, thank you.
I move that the council pass the following resolution, that a temporary use permit to allow agritourism accommodation on Lot 7, District Lot 473, CS District ODYD, Plan 147, located at 9114 Hoofbeat Street for a 3-year period, subject to the conditions shown on the permit attached as Schedule C, be approved.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Holmes. Okay, any further discussion?
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
Hoofbeat Street seems a very appropriate one for people that are going to be transporting their horses and staying in RVs.
Okay. Councillor Carlson.
As I said last time we saw this, I think it is a good idea, and as long as the rules are followed, I think we should let them have a chance to run a successful operation for a couple of years and see how it goes.
Thank you. Any other discussion by council? Hearing none, call for the vote, please. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is passed, none opposed. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to 10.3, which is still with Development Services. Environmentally sensitive development permit for Lot 22, District Lot 488, ODYD, Plan 310, 4816 Nixton Road. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This application, or this property is being before council for an OCP and zoning amendment. The property is now zoned RSD2. It's just over, well, almost 6-acre site in Trout Creek. It's a large lot, and it is the subject of 2 development permit areas. One is the environmentally sensitive development permit area, and one is the watercourse development permit area, as the property is adjacent to Trout Creek. The watercourse development permit area can be issued by staff. That is delegated in our OCP, provided the guidelines are met, to be issued by staff. The environmentally sensitive DP area, those development permits must be issued by council. So this particular application requires the input, an environmental assessment by a professional biologist, which was completed by the applicant's consultants. The map essentially showing the findings is on the screen. And if we place that over the property in question there, that's what it shows up as. The green areas, poly 5 and 6, are essentially where there's a single-family dwelling to the north and a shed and a mobile home sort of to the east. And the red poly is the most sensitive area, with the orange being second most sensitive and the yellow being least next to the green. So when we put the development scheme over top, You can see that the proponent has respected the environmentally sensitive area, and the proposal, they registered a covenant at the time of the zoning that suggested that when the property is subdivided, all the green area there will be dedicated to the municipality as parkland and will be preserving the natural habitat in posterity. So the application is supported.
Thank you. Questions of staff? Councillor Holmes?
What's different than the last time we went through all this?
Question is, what's different from the previous?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the former application was for an OCP amendment and to rezone the property from agriculture to RSD2. That application proceeded. The next step in the process is to get a development permit to ensure the environmental values are protected, and that's what this application is for.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Peak?
So we had the letter received from the environmental consultant, and in that, there were questions around the use within the sensitive area, and those questions just, they're addressed through the subdivision process in terms of usage on the sensitive land?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Once the property is dedicated as parkland, the district will take care and control, and it will be entirely up to council as to what uses, if any, go on that property.
So that falls under the Parks and Rec or Public Works in terms of
Yes.
keeping track? Okay, thank you.
I'm very pleased that we have this property and that it will be for use for the community, and that the family was generous in making that available.
Any other questions of staff? Okay, none. Can someone please bring the recommendation resolution forward, please? Councillor Carlson.
That a development permit to protect the environmental values within the environmentally sensitive development permit area, as shown on Schedule C on Lot 22 DL 488 ODYD Plan 310, located at 4816 Nixon Road, be issued.
Seconder, please. Councillor Trainer, thank you. Okay, any further discussion or discussion? Don't all jump up at once. Okay. Okay. Councillor Barklow. Oh, okay.
I noted in the report that the vegetation is changing. This is an environmentally sensitive area. It's to preserve the black poplar, which is the habitat for the Lewis woodpecker and sometimes the screech owl. But it also commented that it's drying out, and conifers are growing up in the undergrowth and could eventually sort of outgrow the black poplars. And will we, in our Parks Department, sort of look into something that would maintain that in the sort of vegetation that it was preserved for? We need some sort of professional input on whether maybe some of those conifers should be cut down while they're young, and that sort of management.
I would think that that sort of responsibility in terms of how the park is handled could be left to Parks and Rec and Public Works, and they'll be able to adjust the appropriate.
I think they should be made aware of the concern in the report.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Any other discussion at this point? Councillor Boot, anything? No? Okay. So, the motion please, all in favor? Thank you. Motion's approved, none opposed, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're on to staff and other reports, landfill administrative and landfill operational services, and I'll refer that to our CAO.
I just wanted to provide a little clarification to council, and then if there's further questions, then Director of Public Works or Works can also come up to the podium. But just for clarity, the request for proposals that's currently out there right now is for a status quo situation. At this point in time, it's a contracted service that we have with a contractor that has given their notice and is no longer providing those services. So so we had an initial RFP, which we didn't accept any of the responses. We reissued the RFP, and it was for the status quo. There was some question today when I was providing some clarification for a counselor that that's what we're actually saying here. Although there's a number of discussion items here, the question on the table is whether or not to award to the one bid that we received.
Thank you. Questions of our CAO by council? Councillor Barkle and Councillor Carlson.
The report on this said that there was, it's recommended that we go with the contractor over the hiring additional staff by the district, and the cost was essentially the same or very similar. And the report said that the contractor would allow us to do a fee and charges review, and that's why it was being recommended. Why couldn't, and some more flexibility, why does a contractor allow a fee and charges review when they hiring additional staff by the district wouldn't? That I didn't understand that part.
It does allow, Don, do you want to come to the front, and then I'll speak to the second part of that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I guess the wording's not quite correct. The fees and charges review could be done regardless of which way we go. Because we do have a new contract with gravel extraction up there, there are some things that we may want to look at, and so we'd like to get the complete review done, and by hiring the contractor, it allows us to complete the review and then make a decision based on all the information we have, because things are evolving up there right now, and we're just not sure which way we're going to head, and so it provides us with time to make decisions based on that review and other things that may be changing up there. So.
From a staff perspective, we have greater flexibility to continue the contracting out situation and to do, over the next 4 years, do a review of whether or not bringing the positions into the bargaining unit would be a benefit to the organization or not. And the contractor's already finished, so we need to get something into place, and further work would have to be done.
So right now we have a staff person up there.
We have a mix of contractor and staff. We have a special letter of understanding with QP for our summer student to be able to be up there. There's a lot of aspects that we actually should discuss in camera, because it involves some labor issues if we didn't want to award it to the contractor.
A 4-year contract seems like an awful long time to conduct sort of a review of how things are going to go. And if the costs are the same, my leanings are towards hiring a staff.
I think that it's misleading that I think the number that was put in this report was a number that that the very first RFP that went out, we had talked about some QP costs, but we have not done an analysis, a further analysis to look at the full extent of that. From staff, we felt that maintaining the status quo at this point was the least costly manner to go at this time.
The report said the administrators with unionized staff found that the Cantex price of $847,412 was almost identical to the unionized cost of $848,886. So that's what I'm going by, and
I would recommend that council defers this to an in-camera discussion, with it being bargaining unit discussion, if you do want to have further discussion.
Okay. We'll keep that under advisement for a moment and move ahead for some more questions of staff. But it is a good comment. If we're going to be bridging into areas under labor that need to go in camera, then we'll defer it to an in-camera session. Councillor Peak.
Yes, I understand where we're at in terms of the second RFP, and that we have this proposal before us. When you look at the cost of the overburden costs, overhead costs of a unionized, when you when you put them out over a time frame, they can be much more expensive than a contracted position. I can understand doing a contractor position for a certain length of time, which will allow us to better assess where we need to be at within the landfill component. So I see an opportunity to do this RFP and to accept this costing. I did have a question in regard to the increases year over year and how that was arrived at. Do we know how that was arrived at?
Mr. Mayor, you're asking the contractor how he arrived at it?
Well, I wondered if it was a question that was posed at any time during the RFP discussion.
No, it's just their general increases, you know, like they wouldn't tell us what it's for. With QP, we would know that it's 2% per year at least, but with the contractor, we're not privy to what their increases
What
are.
the rationale was it?
That's correct.
Thank you very much, John.
Councillor Carlson.
Does the district own enough equipment to run the landfill for the next 4 years? Or is that something that becomes additional?
We have enough equipment to run the landfill. Whether it'll last is another question. There is some of the equipment that is fairly old. And so that will be part of the overall review that we're doing up there. We'll have to look at what equipment we have, what has to be replaced, and you know, fees, charges, what we can do with the gravel extraction. As far as one of the things we've talked about is sharing the scale facility and those kind of items. So we'd be looking at everything that happens at the landfill, we'd be reviewing and taking a look at.
So if Cantex were to get a contract and go and do that, we would be guaranteed that they would have equipment to run the show the whole time?
Cantex's bid or proposal is just for labor only.
Okay, so we still required.
Other than a half-ton truck, they have to supply a half-ton truck, but other than that, all the equipment is equipment that we have up there.
Keep it maintained and going.
So
That's correct.
So if I have Councillor Holmes, and then I'll ask a question.
Was the 4-year term in the RFP?
Was the 4-year term in the RFP?
That's correct.
That's what we requested, a 4-year term?
That's correct.
So is it fair to say that we don't have the capacity right now to do it ourselves? That's why it's necessary to contract it out? Or is that just asking the same thing?
I think that's
Councillor
asking the
Barkwell
same
said.
thing. I do hesitate to have the initial labor relations conversations without being
Okay,
in camera.
given that we're at that point, I would actually appreciate a motion to refer this to an in-camera session, please. Thank you, Councillor Barkwell. Councillor Peak, seconder. All in favor, please. Thank you. This motion issue is being referred back for review and to be brought forward to an in-camera session. Thank you. Okay, we're on to 11.2, and that's the CAO again. Okay. Power surge event, November 26, 2014.
I think we'll have our manager. of
Okay.
utilities.
Thank you. Manager of Utilities, Devon.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. The Power Surge event, once again. So a special council meeting was held on January 27th to update council at the time of where we were at with the surge event and to review options that we had and make recommendations on which options to choose. Council deferred the matter at the time to allow staff more time in order to provide updated information in the future. So since then, staff has worked with the electric utility and the affected residents in order to confirm that all the Megger tests were done on the 63 homes and that declarations were completed and sent in. Staff provided a utility declaration to the BC Safety Authority in order to have safely reconnected those homes. Worked with primary engineering for further review of the options that were brought forward. Staff surveyed transmission and distribution lines for both SAG as well as separation in the systems. And we provided that information to Primary Engineering as well as to FortisBC. Primary Engineering reviewed the line separation and sag data, and they did confirm that clearances were compliant with the CSA overhead standards at the time. Primary Engineering also completed a report on surge protection. In that report, they stated that surge devices in the home would not protect the homes from damage to their internal systems. They, in an event, such as we experienced on November 26th of 2014. They did not recommend purchasing bulk surge protections to sell to the homeowners, as their opinion was that every home has different electronic requirements. So you'd be looking at not only multiple protection, but a lot of time and effort. They did recommend reviewing the installation of surge arresters in our system, arranged now in a different cascading series in the affected area. These arresters would have some enhanced protection against lightning and other power surges. We also had a simple suggestion from staff with the purchase of something called an ice roller, which basically is like a pulley on a line being pulled along by rope or by a stick, basically. And in situations where we can see that we had adverse weather and snow or ice build up on the lines, then we would send staff out to run the ice rollers in the affected area where we have transmission lines over our distribution and try to reduce that snow load. Financially, the meter socket surge protecting devices were one item that staff recommended that might make sense to help customers with, and in doing so, customers would purchase those at their own cost and make a request to the district. They could purchase them through us. The supply and installation of lightning arresters and the purchase of ice rollers would be paid for out of the electric utility operation and maintenance budget. Staff is recommending that we continue to work with Primary Engineering in an effort to improve the electrical system's ability to protect against power surge events.
Thank you. Questions of Mr. Van de Meulen, please, or other public works from council? Councillor Trainer.
Oh.
Let's go next. Councillor Trainer.
I just have a question about the ice roller.
Mhm.
Is this a common tool that municipalities use on their lines?
I'm not sure about municipalities. It's a fairly common tool, not necessarily in these parts because of the weather here, but back east in Ontario and up north, they are used. Yes.
Okay.
Councillor Carlson.
Following that, how many ice rollers would be required where we have lines and transmission lines in proximity? Is it more than one?
Yeah, the idea, because there's 3 phases, 3 lines, the idea would be to purchase 3 so they can roll these lines at the same time. So you basically roll from one pole to the other, pull them off the lines, place them on the other side, roll the next section, and carry on.
Okay, any other questions? None? Okay, would somebody please bring the recommendation forward?
I'll read that
Councillor Peak,
motion.
thank you.
The council passed the following resolution, that the residents be provided with the option to purchase meter socket surge protection devices at no cost from the district, and staff continue to work with primary engineering in an effort to improve the electrical system's ability to protect against power surge events.
Seconder, please.
Should we make a correction first?
Yeah,
Is there a correction to be needed?
May I correct?
Yes,
I
thank
said
you.
at no cost. It should be at cost.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Freudian slip.
I'm hopeful.
Okay, thank
So I'll
you.
second.
Thank you. Seconders, Councillor Boot. Okay, any further discussion? Councillor Carlson? Okay, you looked like you were going to say something.
Well, I'm glad that that staff took the time to follow up and get a really thorough report on this, and I hope that it does let some people rest easy and know that we are still paying attention, and this is a solution that hopefully will help prevent this from ever happening again. So thank you.
Councillor Barkville and Councillor Boot.
Maybe I missed it. When will these devices be available?
Well, they're available, we simply have to order them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure the timelines on ordering, they're at least a few weeks away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they
So
would.
we're a little ways away from snow, hopefully, but
Yeah. Well, I
you
was
never
thinking,
know.
Besides the protection from such a catastrophic event, that there's like a lightning strike or something, that would help
Mhm.
there too, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Councillor Boot, then Councillor Trainer.
Echoing Councillor Carlson, the efforts are much appreciated. In the second part of the resolution before us, it says staff will continue to work with primary engineering in an effort to improve the electrical system's ability to protect, et cetera. Will we be getting another report to council further down the road, say 3 months or something, just so that we can continue to get an update?
Yeah, I mean, we can
Is it
probably
something
provide
that I
updated
can
information.
request
Some of
through you,
these items
CAO?
would be part of our maintenance budget, and we can simply let you know how we're proceeding.
We would keep council updated in the CAO's regular report, but also in the departmental reports that come in.
Great, thank you.
Councillor Trainer.
I just think it should be noted that in the report it says the surge protectors protect against surges associated with lighting, but not against events such as the high voltage power surge that occurred on November 26th. So they would be useful for some things, but I wouldn't want people to purchase them thinking that they're going to,
Right.
100% protect their home.
Sure.
It's just something to
Yeah.
be noted.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other, what's Councillor Peak?
Yes, in conjunction with Councillor Trainer's remarks, there's a note that lightning and surges associated with lightning are not electrically the same. I appreciate the fact that the reports are provided to council. I learned an awful lot of stuff that I wouldn't normally have an opportunity to. And I understand that will be continuing to monitor the kind of things that could cause a problem. The fact that we did the measuring gives some assurity on some of the questions that were posed at the public meeting. Catastrophic events are something that obviously no one can know in advance that something is happening, but once they've occurred, to have the opportunity to look at some areas of concern and areas of improvement is greatly appreciated from the public standpoint. So thank you, Devin.
Any other questions? Hearing none, can someone please bring the recommendation forward?
I did that and read it just
Did we?
slightly.
Oh, we got, okay, just need to vote. It's all right, I lost my place there. All in favor? Thank you, motion's passed, none opposed, thank you. Guess I thought we were still in questions of staff, that's the trouble. Okay, we're on to 11.3, and annual parking reserve fund report. I guess that's our CFO.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report you have before you tonight is a requirement that we have under the Local Government Act, and it provides information about a statutory reserve fund that is used to hold monies received in lieu of parking spaces, so off-street parking spaces in the downtown area. The funds collected in the current year which was the fiscal year of 2014, $12,000 from the Okanagan Regional Library, and there were no funds expended in this current report. But there is an anticipated project to improve the gravel parking lot at the corner of Rosedale and Wharton in a couple of years.
Thank you. Okay, any questions of our CFO? Pretty straightforward. Please bring the motion forward, somebody. Councillor Traynor.
That council pass the following resolution, that council receive the District of Summerland 2014 Annual Parking Reserve Fund Report.
Seconder, please. Councillor Boot. Okay, any further discussion? I don't think it's necessary, but we're in good shape. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. No opposed. Thank you. So we're on to 11.4, the 214 Development Cost Charge Reserve Fund Report. CFO again, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, a requirement under the Local Government Act to have a report before council and have council receive it. This report covers the activity and development cost charges for the 2014 fiscal year. There were two capital projects in the sidewalk program that we spent DCC funds on, the Prairie Valley Road sidewalk and the Jubilee Road sidewalk. Council may recall that from earlier discussions that we had. It is a requirement for development cost charges to earn interest, and those amounts are detailed in the report for each of the functions. And again, the funds collected by the different kind of development cost charge is shown as well, and the balance in the statutory reserve fund at the end of the year.
Thank you. Questions of our CFO? Councillor Barkwell.
So if we charge, for example, $6,000 for a condo unit and cost charges, how is the formula determined in the allocation between roads, drainage, parkland, water, these funds?
So the charge is determined in a planning process where each of those items has anticipated needs for capital expansion. And so the bylaw that covers the collection of development cost charges has that work behind it that develops that charge and the calculations that go into it. So a projection of the number of units that are going to be anticipated over the time you're covering, whether it's a 25-year horizon, what capital works or burden on the existing system might be placed that you need to recover, and there's some math behind there to determine a dollar amount, either per unit, per square foot, per. Ian, do you have anything to add to that process?
It should be noted that a best practices, a DCC, a development cost charges bylaw, those formulas are be reviewed every 5 years. Ours is probably pretty close to coming up for some renewal because they're quite complex. As CFO mentioned, they're quite complex formulas in coming up with it.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, in the bylaw, it notes how much of the $6,000, for instance, is in each fund. So it'll say parks allocation is $1,700 and the roads allocation is X, sewer, Y, drainage, et cetera.
That's established by some sort of formula that.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions of staff?
Appreciate the update.
Okay, thank you. Okay, could someone please bring that forward? Councillor Holmes.
I move that council receive the District of Summerland 2014 Development Cost Charge Reserve Fund Report.
Seconder, please. Councillor Carlson. Councillor Holmes, could you bring your mic in, please? We couldn't hardly hear you. But go ahead.
Do you want me to say it again?
No, but just bring it in so that you've got it handy. Okay, any further discussion required? No? Here, Councillor Barkwell.
Yeah. I note that we have $1 million in our park fund. Does our planning department, or have we got, any ideas of what we would do with that money, or any obligations, or does it have to reach a certain amount before we spend it, or?
You would typically consider that during your budget deliberations when you're looking at all of the monies that are available. Then you would be looking at projects that may be eligible for that as well.
I think,
So it's something to keep in mind. I mean, I'd rather see some parkland than money in the bank. But you need a certain amount, you know, before you
well,
can get anything.
I think at times when you have that kind of money sitting there, and whether that's a lot depends on what you're looking at, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
But at the same time, there may be opportunities that suddenly come up that don't necessarily wait for budget time. You know, property that may become available, et cetera. And in areas particularly perhaps where we're trying to establish parkland situations. So anytime those opportunities become apparent, I would expect staff to be aware and be bringing them forward, because a lot of times these sorts of opportunities can pass you by, and all of a sudden you've missed that in terms of expanding your parkland. So I agree very much. Any other questions?
I just had a comment, Mr. Mayor. I don't have the development cost charges bylaws with me tonight, but there's usually some description on each schedule as to where the funds can be spent. And it may very well be that, you know, there's a certain area, perhaps waterfront, that's been identified as the main purpose for parkland purchases, in which case your comment of, you know, do you need a certain amount, is certainly dependent on the location of the park. Yes.
Yeah, I think it bears some discussion by council as to what our priorities are and where we want to, if we were saving up for a particular item or whether we are just keeping it for opportunities. Or
Well, I think you know, we've seen in the past that there are opportunities come up. Development services.
Yes, I suspect our Parks and Rec master plan that's going to be starting shortly will feed into that and give us some information in that regard.
Yeah, but we are keeping our eyes open. Okay, anybody else? Any questions? Thank you.
Quick question. Is that money only for property purchases for new parkland, or can it be used for improvements as well?
I don't have the bylaw with me tonight, Councillor Trainer. I'm sorry, I'd have to read that to see what the limitations on the funds
Yes.
are.
Thanks. Yes.
Any more discussion? Thank you. So we'll have the vote. All in favor? Thank you. None opposed. Motion's passed. So we're moving ahead to 11.4. Oh, pardon me, 11.5. Grant and aid requests. And we're CFO again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a couple of requests this evening for grant and aid consideration by council. Two items. One, the Summerland Community Arts Council that we had Ms. Watts, I believe it is, speak to us earlier this evening about the Wednesday on the Water program. And also the Summerland Museum and Heritage Society has submitted a request for support. So the Wednesday on the Water program did receive support from council last year. It was a new initiative, and it was their startup year. Unfortunately, they didn't submit their request in our intake of applications at our normal time, and have a late request before you because of that. We have provided, the district has provided a $3,600 grant to the organization, as well as providing the art gallery space on Main Street. And the Summerland Museum and Heritage Society requested grant and aid in the amount of $40,000 during our usual intake of applications. And council at that time decided to grant $35,000. So this additional request now of $3,600 to update their computers is a result of operational difficulties that they're experiencing. They hadn't anticipated it, and so they had no funds in their 2015 budget for the item. So in addition to the $35,000 grant that this organization receives, the building that houses the museum is also supplied by the district. And in addition to those two items, there is also, for council's information, just a note about the $75 contribution to the Apple Valley Cruisers Endless Summer Car Show to purchase a prize for the Mayor's Award. So the mayor will have the honor of presenting that to a car of choice, and that is going to be covered through departmental budget. So not before council for a decision tonight.
Thank you. questions of our CFO, please? Councillor Trainer.
I printed off the sheet that you sent us earlier with the grants that we're
Yes.
currently considering. The Summerland Fall Fair is not happening this year, and I noticed that we were recommending $6,000 for them. I didn't know if they had already received that money or if that's something that we could put towards something else.
That's a great question. I have also received that information late last week, and we did issue them a $4,600 payment. The remainder of the amount was for the rental of the space. So I am in the process of contacting them to confirm that they aren't going to be using those funds and asking them to return them to the district.
Okay, thanks.
So am I correct in thinking that it's the 2,600 only? Just the rental of the space, money? There was two sums mentioned.
For the Summerland
Yeah,
Fall Fair,
yeah.
we cut them a check for $4,600.
Right.
And that's the money that I'm going to confirm that they aren't.
Okay, so it's a full 4,600. that
Yes,
we
but they were
made.
6,000 on the list.
Yes.
Because they had some additional in-kind support for the rental of
Okay.
the space that they use at the arena.
So the balance was in kind, so
Yes.
it's not a cash item.
Right.
So we're looking at, we're looking at the 4,600 potentially coming back into our grant and aid capacity.
The full 6,000 would come back in because we don't need the rental either.
Oh,
So the
okay,
budget
yeah,
is
right,
available.
right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Carlson and Councillor Peak.
As much as I think we should support these, I think we should wait to see if we have the extra money available before we make a decision on it. It's halfway through the year and we've spent half of the extra money. So perhaps if that other 6 is now available for something else, the opportunity to support this at the next meeting might be better.
Councillor Peak.
Just a point of clarification, the report reads that we have $3,000 available at this point,
Yes.
and that is excluding the $6,000 that could come back from the fair.
That's correct. That was late information that came to light after this report was written.
Okay.
Okay,
you
any
very much
other
for that clarification.
questions of staff? Councillor Peak.
I don't know that, when you look at that the museum needs an update on their computer systems and their computers, I'm wondering if they have done any approaches to some of the major dealers or Microsoft or Apple, because they oftentimes have community funds, they do community sponsorships, and I'm wondering if that might be something that we could, I'm not saying that we wouldn't be interested in putting funds to them, but I wonder if that's an avenue that they may or may not have looked at.
Any other questions? Okay, I guess we got a comment here that, I think it's been brought up that we have 3,000 balance. And what I'd like to know from the CFO is what are the time constraints for these two organizations with respect to the funding in terms of their, quote, hour of need?
Neither organization indicated that, they had to have the funds by a particular date. We did hear that Wednesdays on the Water is just starting in July. Is that correct?
Yes, July 8th.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesdays on the Water, if I remember from last year, that the problem with not receiving funds in a reasonable time frame was with contracts with some of the performers and so on.
I wasn't here last summer, but
Okay.
I think the performers kind of expect to be paid on the night.
Yeah.
So the securing them is subject to funding.
Yeah, that's what I was implying, yeah. So what I would like to see is that we move ahead on the minimum amount for the 700 for the arts program on the Water, and then perhaps hold off on the computer acquisition for the museum people until we have some kind of feeling for the situation with the Fall Fair funds. Does that sound reasonable? Anybody got any comment to that suggestion? Councillor Trainer?
I guess, do you have a time frame for when we might know if we'd be getting that money back?
we're trying to get in touch
Yeah.
with them today.
Okay.
So as soon as we can, get in touch with someone, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we would need a change in our recommendation. If someone would like to manufacture a resolution and bring it forward, then we can go ahead. So who's, Councillor Holmes?
I'll move that, sorry.
I move that council pass a resolution to approve a grant and aid payment to the Summerland Community Arts Council for the amount of $700 for the support of Wednesdays on the Water program.
Okay. Do we need anything further, CFO, in reference to the museum situation at this time?
I don't believe so, Mr. Mayor. We will bring a report again.
Okay, thank you. So can we have a seconder for that resolution, please? Councillor Peak, thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Carlson?
I guess when we're looking down at the beach, the district has full responsibility for cleaning up and maintaining and keeping everything nice down there and they would spend some extra time on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning to make sure things are good. Is that?
Yeah, I think.
That is our responsibility, right?
Yep, Parks and Rec and Public Works will be doing their duty.
And they're happy to do that?
They do a very good job down there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the suggestion. So, we've got a seconder? We're correct? Okay. Any further discussion at all? All in favor? Thank you. The motion's passed. Carried. None opposed? Thank you. Okay, we're going on to, I guess it's our CAO.
Can I just quickly
Okay.
follow up that?
Yeah, okay.
Next year, let's make sure that that's part of the initial ask, so we don't have to go through this every time. Thanks.
Okay, I think, yeah, okay, point well taken. CAO, do you have any comment here for our 11.6 215 transformer oil sampling project?
This is simply an information report, so unless council had questions, you would just receive it for information.
Okay. Any questions at all? Okay, can I have?
May I just?
Yes, go ahead.
I had a
Councillor.
question down. Does this complete all our transformers in this review?
I believe so.
It does, eh? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have a councillor bring this forward, please?
The council received this report as information.
Seconder, Councillor Carlson. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed. Okay, we're on to 11.7. We have our extra.
No, the first one will be 11.12. so
Okay, thank you.
11.7.
Okay, 11.7, our 218 and 219 55-plus BC Games bid, and bringing that forward.
I'll just introduce it. We had a request from City of Penticton as attached to your agenda. They are putting in a bid on their own this year for the 55-plus senior games, BC Games, 55-plus BC Games for 2018 or 19. They're asking for council's support and also for in-kind support for the use of our facilities, as our recreation manager has listed out here, showing the current values of that. It has been confirmed that the facilities at this point in time are open and available for booking.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, any questions? Councillor Holmes.
I noticed in their letters they're asking use of facilities that don't belong to the District of Summerland. Can we make it clear that they would have to contact those organizations separately?
We have actually had that conversation with them. In one of the pieces of correspondence we received, they actually noted that they recognize that they're not district facilities. So in further correspondence, it would be also clear with them.
Councillor Carlson.
Do we know how many facilities Summerland, I mean, it seems like Racquet Club, Penticton doesn't have one, Badminton Club, Penticton doesn't have one. Like, do we have just as many facilities that will be in use, yet they're going to be the ones hosting the tournament? Do you know?
The recreation manager may, and just a note, I know, you may have seen it in the package, that the past time that this was done, it was actually a joint submission by the district and the city of Penticton, but they and there was cash contribution by the district as well. They decided within their own council to do an independent submission this time and do the cash submission on their own.
The majority of events will happen in Penticton.
Mhm.
So what happens is there's 35 sports that can be offered through the games, and 22 need to be approved for you to be able to host the games. So Penticton is looking for those extra facilities so that they can add that to their bid submission. Yeah.
Councillor Holmes.
Have we talked to the regular users of some of these facilities that we'd be? I can't see any of the hockey organizations being too keen in not having the rink in September.
It isn't for the rink, it's for the curling rink, and we don't start curling until October,
Oh.
and these games are in September.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, would somebody like to bring the recommendation forward, please? Councillor Barco.
I'd like to, that the District of Summerland provide support to the City of Penticton in their bid to host the 2018 or 2019 55-plus BC Games, and that the District of Summerland support as an in-kind contribution for the use of Dale Meadows Sports Complex, Summerland Arena Complex Curling Club, and the Summerland Rodeo Grounds. And good luck.
Thank you. Seconder, please, Councillor Carlson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Motion, please. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed. None opposed. Okay, we're moving to 11.
Are you going to participate?
Pardon me?
Are you going to participate?
Well, I do appreciate council's support of my generation.
In the golf tournament? You get in there?
I'm going to
I'm
participate.
working on it. Pardon?
55 plus, I'm going to participate.
I had no idea you were that old, Councillor Booth.
I am.
We're going to have to see your birth certificate.
I expect a lot of brownie points out of that, by the way.
Mr. Chair.
11.8, Councillor Pete.
Mr. Mayor, I believe we might have skipped something. 11.2, which was an amended part of the agenda, appointment to committees.
That's 11.12.
Okay, then that was my hearing. Thank you very kindly.
Okay, so we're moving to 11.8.
Yes.
24th annual report to set an annual meeting time frame. Any comment there from the CAO?
Just that we're, as it says, we must have an annual meeting each year to present the annual report. The annual report has been prepared, and it needs to be advertised for 2 weeks before it is presented. And did you want to add anything?
Yeah. So the annual report is ready today, and it will be on the website tomorrow. So tonight, we just need a motion from council to set the annual meeting to consider the annual report for June 22nd.
Okay. Thank you. So this is really sort of a housekeeping thing. Could I have a motion, please? Councillor Carlson?
Do I need to say the whole thing?
Yep.
Yes.
No. Go ahead.
That council set the annual meeting to consider the 2014 annual report for Monday, June 22nd, 2015, and direct staff to advertise the meeting twice in the local newspaper.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Peak? All in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed. Thank you. Okay, we're on to 11.9. Canada 150 Community Infrastructure Program. CFO, are you addressing that, or the CO?
I'll just start it, and then we'll have our manager of recreation speak
okay,
to it.
sure.
But we, in discussions, the entire management staff spent quite a bit of time discussing what our options were. As we mentioned at an earlier date, this was a grant program that was introduced, and from the day that it was introduced to the closing date, it was a period of just over 1 month time. So it was really geared to the projects that, number one, you already had funding for your other 50% because gas taxes are not eligible for it. And number two, that that's been identified as a priority. So we did have a number of discussions, which we present 2 options here. And if they're both in the report, so I think if you have any questions, either Brenda or myself can answer those. Unless you would prefer us to walk through what the 2 options are.
Perhaps you could just do a brief highlight.
Okay. The 2 options that we have submitted are upgrades to the curling rink and the arena. And these are, I have to look in detail what we were talking about here. Okay. The arena dehumidifier is a project that needs to be addressed. Replacement of the curling rink ice compressor and replacement of the banquet room air handling unit. Also replacement of overhead lighting and other minor additions. That the arena complex was built in 1976, so it does continue to need upgrades. These are upgrades that have been included in our 5-year financial plan for upgrades to that facility. Option number 2 is improvements to the trails on Giants Head Mountain Park. And I have been working with the Rotary Giants Head Grind, and that was a project that they wanted to, as part of their fundraising in their last 2 races, was looking at a plan that is from the gate to the flag, a 5-year period of doing improvements to those trails. The road is great that we have up there, but it's basically first what they wanted to look at was from the parking lot to the flag. And way back in the day, there was a winding trail with some benches on the corners and things like that, and those really are in disrepair. So that one is our second option is improvements, applying for Canada 150 funding for improvements on Giants Head Park.
Just a note on the first one on the arena, as was mentioned, most of them are, at least the first 3, are items that are in our financial plan. So by choosing this for the project, then you would have those funds that are currently allocated for those projects available for other projects.
Any questions, Councillor Barkwell?
Do you have any intuition as to which project would most likely be looked on favorably by the granting organization?
Because it's rehabilitation, existing infrastructure, it should be even. I have a feeling in this one that potentially the actual bricks and mortar upgrades would potentially be more, but I haven't had any inside information.
Now, this is grants in celebration of Canada's 150th birthday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So could we leave her on get some leverage on the fact that our Giants Head Provincial Park was initiated as our 100th anniversary in 1967?
They both fit the criteria, and not much information. Typically, when you're doing grant applications, you have when they're longer deadline, you have an opportunity to talk to the decision makers and work a little bit on your submission. This one has been such a quick turnaround that opportunity hasn't been there.
I have a question, Brenda. I know I get a little bit worried about buildings that have been in position for as long as this one. And the fact that you've got some of these potential upgrades in the works over the next 5 years, and as our CAO just pointed out, if we're able to receive money for that, it would free up money for perhaps things like the Giants Head improvements. I guess I get concerned that a building can ultimately, some of these things can actually fail, and you're suddenly having to do something. And I guess what I look at is preempting such problems by, getting to these sorts of things a little bit more quickly than too late. So personally, I would tend to favor the bricks and mortar side right now because of the age of the building. And you've identified some areas there that I think are obviously pretty critical to the operating of that facility. And we're, as much as I'm a heavy user of Giant's Head, and I actually don't use the arena, I can't skate worth a damn, but you know, I think perhaps I would be in favor more of the bricks and mortar side of things, given the age of the building and the potential here, I think, to offset problems that could happen at any time. So do you have any comment regarding that?
That's why those things are being addressed in our 5-year,
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what we are anticipating, that they are going to need to be replaced.
But I guess what I'm saying is that you've identified these things, and I see here an opportunity to kind of jumpstart and offset the potential for, you know, downtime of our facility
Mhm.
by doing this, if we're able to gain this grant money.
Exactly.
Councillor Carlson.
The Giant's Head grind and the money that is to go towards the park, is that something that they're ready to start doing without extra support right now? Like, or is it something that they will wait for more money before it gets started?
Well, I think they would be ready to start when we say yes, and how much money is available will depend on how much we can get done. But they're definitely committed to working on those trails.
Councillor Barkle.
After looking at this, I kind of take the opposite view. I think that since the arena, you know, replacement equipment and stuff is in the budget already, and that this is a 150th anniversary project, and we need to have a 150th anniversary project in Summerland of some kind, and it involves the community, and we are going to get community, you know, support and leverage on this project. I'd like to see us go for the Giant's Head project.
Councillor Carlson.
The view from the top of Giant's Head is probably the nicest view in Canada as well. I think you can really sell that if that is the decision that does get made. I don't think it would, yeah, I feel like it would be easy to sell it.
Councillor Peak.
It's nice to have an opportunity to partnership with others in the community and to partner with the Rotary on the Giant's Head and the Giant's Head's grind. I think that's a terrific opportunity. So I think that's a really good one to do.
Councillor Holmes.
I agree with you, Mr. Mayor. I think you might as well take the money while it's there, and it's a larger sum, and it seems to me like a more pressing need. I'm all for having a Canada 150 community project, but I think it should be the community who decides what that project ought to be, not us deciding between two infrastructure grant programs. Well, sure, so we can do this, but if we can still have a community Canada 150 anniversary project of, you know, that the whole community can get behind.
Thank you. Councillor Traynor, any comment?
I'm just really stuck on this because I use Giant's Head all the time, so
So do I.
I lean towards that. But then I try to think about how many people value using the arena as well. I guess my question would be, one project is 100,000, and then the other, it looks like we have to give 40. Is that right?
It's a 50% matching
Okay.
grant. So what we did is we matched on the Giant's Head.
Mhm.
And then on the arena improvements, it would be $100,000 that we're matching.
So one would be a $160,000 project, and the other one is a
Right.
$200,000
Right.
project.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
No, Councillor Peak, sorry.
It was mentioned, and I think it was Linda, that the first three are already in the budget. What was the amount for the first three that we would be supporting in our budget at any rate? Do you know, Brenda? Or perhaps it's the CFO?
It does work out to about $200,000.
Actually, it's
in upgrades.
The first three, the ones that we're talking about that are in the budget without the lighting, I believe it was around 150, was it?
Yeah.
So we would have the funds already available to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We did note, I mean, what we were looking at is that the arena actually requires, it's an older building. It requires other upgrades as well. Projects that weren't identified, that aren't in the plan yet because we haven't got a fully developed 5-year plan yet. But they don't have funding sources attached to them yet. This way, what we did think that if you did choose this one, that there would be other funds to go towards some of those other rehabilitation that needs to be done in the arena as well.
Thank you. I might change my mind in terms of sport. Thank you very kindly.
I guess one of the things that crosses my mind when you talk about a 5-year plan of upgrade, the only reason that isn't done like next year is because the funds take time to roll in and you budget it over 5 years. It's not because we can determine that within 4 years the a dehumidifier unit's going to fail. If we could, we would upgrade all those units immediately because of the age of the building and the components. The only rationale for spinning it out over 5 years is because that's the only way we can see of funding those projects through the budget process at this time. Am I correct?
Correct.
So given that if we were able to apply and receive grant for the bricks and mortar approach, which is more money, then that tends to free up not only more money for the potentially perhaps the rehabbing of the building over the budgetary period you described, but it also frees up money, more money for upgrades to Giant's Head Park over a period of time with assistance from clubs, etc. I think what we're seeing here is by choosing the bricks and mortar side of things, we get a win-win for both options. That's the way I look at it. So, Councillor Booth.
I'm with Councillor Traynor and Mayor Waterman in using Giant's Head more than I use the arena. But I grew up here, and at the risk of letting the mayor know my age, in 1976, it was huge for us to have some place where we could skate and do all of those kinds of things. You know, grad ceremonies, all kinds of stuff. It seems to me that the community at large, and maybe you can back this up with some numbers, the community at large uses those facilities more than Giant's Head. And I know that, you know, determining how many people actually go up and down Giant's Head, it would be difficult. But if we look at the skating club and hockey and grad and broom ball and curling and the banquet facility, all of those things combined, with the fact that we have put in, not we, but citizens in Summerland have put in an application to Hockeyville, I think that my preference would be for the grant to be for, the application for the grant would be for the arena and curling rink upgrades. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions of staff at this point? Okay, can I have a motion brought forward, please? Councillor Carlson.
That staff be directed to submit an application to the Western Economic Diversification Canada 150 Community Infrastructure Grant Program for the arena and curling complex upgrades for a total project cost of $200,000.
Seconder, please. Councillor Peak. Okay, any further discussion? Councillor Parkwood.
You're very convincing, Mr. Mayor, and I changed my mind, and I'm going to go with you.
Can we mark that one down?
Because, you know, it will free up money, hopefully, for other things. It does remind us that we do have to think about this 150th anniversary, yeah.
I'm 100% behind your idea, no worry there. I think, you know, I guess I'm quite serious about it being a win-win for both projects if we were to take this route. Councillor Carlson.
I also think we should listen to what Councillor Holmes said about the community choosing a project, because we're going to be here. We can help lead something like that during the actual year of celebration. So let's put that into put some thought into that.
Good idea. So we're ready for a vote? All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous, none opposed, thank you, it's carried. So we're on to 11.10, lease of municipal property to Rosa Patrocini.
Yeah. This is as you see, just a lease renewal. It's fairly straightforward in the report. If you have any questions, the Director of Corporate Services can answer it. We are trying from council direction to update all the leases that we have, and that this is the first one you'll see of many coming forward in the next while.
So, Director.
Unless there's
Sorry.
question, yeah.
Questions of the Director? Councillor Barkle.
Yeah, in the bottom paragraph here, you said that the annual revenue for the district is estimated to be $300 from property taxes and $120 from irrigation charges. Is that just for this 1 acre that you're talking about, or is it for the entire parcel?
That is for the one parcel that we're looking at leasing.
And which is approximately 1 acre?
Yes.
So $350 we get for property taxes for that 1 acre of farmland?
That's what I have. Could be wrong.
If it's farm status, I wouldn't expect that at all. Because I was just thinking the normal lease rates are taxes and water, just, you know, right?
Well, I think it's entirely subjective, Councillor Barkle, because it's whatever the leasee can get for the property. So.
But, yeah.
Any other questions? Councillor Carlson, questions of staff?
Is there a reason that the cost of leasing this 1 acre is far greater than the cost of leasing any other 1 acre from a private landowner in Summerland? Just because I wonder?
Good question.
We don't pay $120 per acre to lease farmland, so I'm wondering if that is fair.
That is the new standard that we're trying to stick with, is to follow the provincial guidelines. Yeah.
Any questions of staff? Okay. Someone please bring the resolution forward. Don't rush. Councillor Boot.
That the District of Summerland lease a portion of municipally owned property legally described as Lot A, Plan 6866, DL 474 ODYD lease portion containing approximately 1.0 acres as shown in Schedule A for a term of 5 years.
Seconder, please. Councillor Peak. Okay, any further discussion on this? Seems pretty straightforward. All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. None opposed.
I'm going to oppose it.
You're going to oppose? Oh, I didn't see over there. Okay,
I
fine.
didn't do anything.
One opposed.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, 11.11, CAO.
So I presented a late report to council that it got missed on the agenda. I didn't get it to the agenda. We briefly talked about this at last meeting, that council had previously authorized an expenditure of plus or minus $10,000 for the additional paving required at the library for pavers and the extended sidewalk. On the back, on the last page of the report, you can see the two examples, Schedule A being the pink area, being the area that what the sidewalks would look like, and the second one being just the 1.5 meter width that would happen if the district did not do the extra work. The library board have received the tenders back, and it's going to be a maximum of $32,000 to do all the work, the pavers, the increased width, and I've got up to $32,000, and the only reason it's not, the exact amount's not confirmed is they haven't actually signed their they haven't signed the contract yet. They're waiting for council's decision first. So we are hoping that we can continue the view of on Main Street to be consistent.
Councillor Peak.
To the CFO, we have money in the sidewalk budget to do this resolution?
Yes, that's correct. We had $150,000 of district money and then additional gas tax funds, so only the district money really would be available for this project. And we have, council has allocated $23,000 to deal with the no posts on Prairie Valley Road, and $45,000 to improve the Simpson Road intersection with that railway crossing. So that leaves $82,000 available for the district money.
I think that the Main Street, preservation of the aspect on Main Street to be attractive is important.
Thank you. Any other questions of staff, please, Council, or of the CAO? I'll just add to Councillor Peak's comment that this, as we have the pavers in place and the rest of the street approaching the library, that this will indeed complete that look. And given that the library is sort of at the end of the two-block area that is going to be a key area for the downtown, I'd certainly like to be able to see it look similar in attractiveness for the maintaining the downtown look. So any other questions of staff? Councillor Booth.
If we were to look at having the existing, having the sidewalk with the, what's it called, brushed concrete, thank you, at a width of 3 meters wide instead of the 1.5 meters wide, so that the width at least conformed with what was already there further down the street, east, I guess. Do we have an estimate of what that cost would be?
The tender that went out with the Okanagan Regional Library Board is either for the 1.5 or the full amount that that's shown on the drawings, and it has to be accepted one or the other at this point. So the $32,000 is for the width as shown on the drawings.
Oh, with the pavers, though.
Oh, and you want.
So I was wondering if the 3 meters for the brushed concrete, if we have a figure for that, or would it even be a consideration?
Actually,
I know it doesn't look the same,
No,
but it would accomplish the width.
I think what the CAO is getting at is that the RFP that's gone out from the ORL to their contractors has been these two specific.
It would be about $25,000 without the pavers, but with the increased cost. They did ask for two separate.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a fairly, it's not as big gap to the pavers.
Okay.
I suspected
Thank
as
you.
much. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, could someone please bring this resolution forward?
May I?
Yes, Councillor Peak.
The council also authorized the expenditure of funds up to $32,000 required to bring the subdivision and development bylaw requirement of 1.5 meter of brushed concrete sidewalk to match the existing decorative paver sidewalk throughout the downtown core of the new library sidewalk fronting Main Street and Kelly Avenue.
Seconder, please. Councillor Carlson. Any further discussion? Councillor Carlson.
This probably isn't going to be the last time the library board asks us for money, just to, in my understanding is there's other things that will probably go over budget, so this one, I also understand we have an obligation and we should be contributing to, and I think that it's something we need to be doing. But I have a feeling that before the library is completely complete, we'll be talking about it again, so just to keep that in mind.
Well, actually, I think I'll contradict you a little bit. I think in terms of approaching this council, I think pretty much we're done there. But there are additional areas in the outdoor sitting area and so on that they feel that some of those things may be done by local contributions and fundraising and so on. But I don't believe they're going to be approaching council for any more funding for the project. So, did we get a seconder for that?
Yes.
Yes. Any further discussion?
I just have one
Booth?
question.
Yes.
It says in our background that there's not a formal agreement indicating what the procedure would be if the amounts came in substantially different than expected, so from the 10,000 plus or minus. Councillor Carlson just said that there is an obligation for us to follow through on this. Is there an obligation, or is there not a formal agreement as it shows in our background notes?
They didn't do a formal contract, so council agreed to, as I said, the actual correspondence does say plus or minus $10,000. If there's no obligation, legal obligation for us to do this, because they could just do the 1.5 million. This is for the district's benefit that we're doing this. So there's an obligation. One could argue there's an obligation because of the way it's written, plus or minus 10,000. But the library board's willing to say you don't need to do that. We'll just do it at 1.5. But it's in our best interest to maintain our Main Street.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Discussion? Okay, did we bring that one forward?
Might I say one more
Pardon?
thing, Mr. Chair? Sorry.
We've got to move in second, we just need to vote.
Sorry, Councillor Booth?
Just may I say one other
Yeah,
thing?
go ahead.
I'm really reluctant to spend another $32,000 on sidewalks. But given that there is money in our sidewalk budget, I think that at least that makes me feel a little bit better in putting my vote positively to this resolution.
Yeah.
And the 32 is not including the 10, so it's
Right.
It's
So
the
it's
total amount.
22, yeah.
It's not including the 10. So in essence, we're
Over budget 22.
Yeah.
22.
Probably about
So we're over
20,000
budget
in the
about
end.
20,000, right.
Okay.
So we're in excess by 20 something.
And I do
Yes.
anticipate that the 32,000 is slightly high. I just, until the number's confirmed, I can't.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a vote, please? All in favor? Thank you. Motion's carried. No opposed. Okay, we're on to an additional. Okay, item 11.12. This is to bring forward to a public meeting the appointment of members to various District of Summerland committees and commissions. So.
Just
corporate officer?
information. Just information.
Yep.
Just
this is for
information.
Yeah, just information from our in-camera session this morning on appointments to various committees and commissions for the District of Summerland.
So.
No vote.
No recommendation, so this is
Yeah,
just,
just
this is
for public
available?
information,
This
yeah.
is for public and for press, or
Yes,
this is
absolutely.
available
Yeah,
after
there's
the meeting?
copies there.
Oh, there are already copies out
Yes,
there?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And on the
So it's
website.
just a matter of receiving?
Don't even need to receive
Don't
it.
even
We don't
need to
need to
receive?
receive, just for
Okay,
public
thank you very
information.
much. Okay, the next one.
Okay, next one, under new business, we have a late item 12.1, and I will refer this to Councillor Boot, and she is going to speak on the hospital laundry workers and interior health.
Thank you. So you will have seen the late item. It's a notice of motion that I'd like to put forward, but I'd like to just bring a little bit of background material to you. Ms. Dolores Willoughby is in the audience. I met with her, occasionally with Councillor Peake, Councillor Barkwell, and the mayor, several times over the last 6 weeks or so. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on what the Interior Health Association is proposing to do. The Interior Health area is divided into 4 main areas: the East Kootenay, the Kootenay boundary, Okanagan, and the Thompson-Caribou-Shuswap. In the Okanagan, there are 17 laundry workers that work at the Penticton Regional Hospital. Overall, there are 175 in-house hospital laundry workers in that interior health region. Fair wages and excellent benefits are attached to these positions. The laundry workers live, work, and play locally. Their children grow up in our communities. IHA management informed me that the cost of upgrading the existing equipment for the laundry facilities is estimated at $10 million over 10 years. To address this maintenance budget item, they are looking at issuing, well, I guess they have issued a request for solutions, an RFS. And although I haven't been able to review the document, my understanding is the RFS is for requesting solutions to address the provision of the laundry services by a third party. That is, they want to privatize the service. The location of a private facility may be in the Interior Health Region, but it could be on the Lower Mainland or even outside of the province. Regardless of where the facility is situated, even if it is in Penticton, there is no guarantee the laundry workers that currently fill these positions will be hired with the same employment terms. This resolution that I'm going to put forward in a minute, something similar has been put forward to a number of municipalities in the Interior Health area. You may need to help me a little bit with this, Dolores. The City of Kamloops, City of Nelson, Municipality of Williams Lake, Vernon, and 100 Mile House have all supported the resolution. Now, corporate officer, I'm not sure at what point I introduced the resolution. Do I do that?
You can do it now.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion. Sorry? Okay. Whereas Interior Health Authority, IHA, is considering privatizing laundry services, and whereas there are 175 in-house hospital laundry workers across the region, including 17 at Penticton Regional Hospital, and whereas IHA acknowledges that these in-house hospital laundry services are delivered effectively and efficiently by current staff, therefore be it resolved that a letter be written to the Minister of Health, Mr. Terry Lake, urging him to cancel IHA's plans to contract out laundry services and lay off up to 17 workers at Penticton Regional Hospital.
Seconder, please. Councillor Carlson. Any discussion? Councillor Holmes.
Yeah, it seems like an ideologically driven proposal, and it doesn't fit my ideology at all, so I can support this, no problem.
You can or you can't? I can't. Can. Oh, I thought you said it doesn't fit.
I can support this, no problem. It doesn't fit my ideology, and it's very ideological driven what they're trying to do. And so I'm supporting it.
Okay, that's the way it sounded like. It sounded like you weren't supporting the motion, quite frankly. Any other comments? Councillor Peak? And
Yes,
Councillor
I think
Trainer.
it's important to retain jobs within our area, and that when you look at the kind of transportation that might be involved if it was to go elsewhere, either within our own province or elsewhere, I can foresee a lot of difficulties if it was shopped out further afield. So I will be in support of this. We need good jobs within our communities.
Councillor Carlson.
And there is really only one road in and one road out of Penticton. It's important, I think. Is there not? Highway 97?
No, okay.
And if that's closed in one direction and you can't get in or out, I mean, what do you do?
Ferry service.
There's some logic there somewhere. Councillor Trainer, were you?
I was just going to thank Councillor Boot for bringing this forward, and I will be supporting it as well.
Thank you. Councillor Barkwell.
Yes, it's not only a jobs issue, it's the pay level issue. I think that the laundry workers are not paid a great deal, but if it's contracted out, you know that people would barely be making living wages. And secondly, I also get concerned when things that concern our health are contracted out, and the temptation to cut corners, which would maybe sacrifice safety, are always there for that type of privatized service.
Any other comments? So I'll add my 2 bits. I agree with my fellow councillors. I essentially disagree with potential job losses on a local basis, especially if they're jobs that are going to families with decent benefits and so on that will ensure families functioning well. So I'll certainly be supporting this. So we had a seconder, didn't we? Yes. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Motion's passed.
Thank you, Dolores.
So do we have anything else?
Councillor reports.
Councillor reports? Okay, starting with Councillor Peak.
Thank you. We had visitors days at the Agar Lake, and the grandchildren went fishing on that day. It's a wonderful place to be able to go out to. They didn't catch any fish, but they had a lot of fun. I attended the Cultural Task Force, and Doug and I, Councillor Holmes and I, did a presentation on the strategic plan. I want to commend the community on Action Fest. It was a wonderful time. I see so many families that I don't get a chance to see except at Action Fest, and it's a great opportunity. I'm wondering the impact between having the amusement park down on the park area and on the gravel area. I've been interested in hearing more of the discussion around that. I know that they had a very good dance as well, and I didn't see as many incidents with the police and young people in our community, and I commend the community on being able to do an event and do it well.
Thank you. Councillor Holmes.
Okay, the only thing I really wish to report on is that I attended the Federation of Canadian Municipalities annual conference in Edmonton this past weekend. I made a written report which I submitted, and I think it's floating around here somewhere for everybody to read, but I just want to pull out a few key things, takeaways I think that from the report, besides all the mosquito bites I brought back. But I brought a few other points. One, you can definitely tell, being at this conference, that it's an election year. The federal party leaders for both the NDP, Liberal and Green parties were all there speaking, as well as the finance minister on behalf of the Conservatives. So there's a lot of yada yada the political stuff going on. Though it was interesting to hear their perspectives on municipal, the different federal parties' takes on municipal affairs, and there is a petition going around for the FCM to try and get a federal leaders debate on municipal issues. 3 of the 4 leaders have agreed to participate, and one is still trying to hold out. I'll let you guys all guess which one that might be.
We already know.
So the other interesting topic that we discussed a lot there was civic engagement, and a lot of municipalities talked about different things they were doing with civic engagements, which I think we can learn from. The main message is that you have to go out and meet the people where they are. Don't expect them to come to you. They're not going to come to City Hall. So you have to get out to where they are, not only in the physical sense, but if we talk about young people, especially where they are, it's digital, it's social media, so you have to get there. And also you have to understand where they are, emotionally, socially, financially. So I was interested here in Calgary. They partner with organizations like the United Way to connect with people who aren't so well off, for example. So I think a lot of interesting things like that came out. The other big topic was financing different projects. There was a lot of talk about public-private partnerships and how those aren't necessarily a panacea to our financial problems. Very interesting talk from the mayor of Dauphin, Manitoba, who talked about how in his community large percentages of money were raised just by going out to the community asking for donations, to build new arenas and community cinemas and things like that. And there was a lot of talk about sponsorship, and I'll probably talk about that at another time, because there's so much about sponsorship opportunities and pitfalls that you might have to be aware of by doing that, but I think that's worth us having a discussion at some point. And also, there's talk about taking fairness into account when we're raising revenues, and when you think of, you know, federal and provincial income tax, they're all progressive taxes, whereas our taxes, you know, which rely mostly on property taxes, they're more of a regressive tax. And, you know, can we look at introducing more progressive taxation at the local level? So there's all kinds of food for thought like that. It was quite a stimulating thing, and I came back with lots of ideas.
Thank you. Councillor Carlson.
Well, I had some things in my head and now they're gone. I guess the main thing is that we should be congratulating all the people that ran in high 20s. The Giants Head run, those that did the triathlon as well. Well done to all of you, and thanks to the Works guys for patching Giants Head Road just in the nick of time. Filled all those holes, and I rode it the other day, and it wasn't too bad, so that's good.
You must have good shocks. Councillor Boot.
Sorry. Thursday, I attended the RDOS meeting with Mayor Waterman. Those are always pretty interesting meetings. I've had a number of meetings with Dolores, as you heard. I very much enjoyed the Action Fest on the weekend. It was a little warm, but it was a lot of fun, and yes, she is still here. I would like to commend the manager of recreation, Brenda Lemke. Brenda, sorry, that's her maiden name, isn't it? Sorry, Brenda. That's the name I know you by. For her organization of their aspect of the Action Fest, it was outstanding. And I would also like to congratulate Councillor Traynor on her first place standing in her age category. Yay, in the 10K. I know. There is not a chamber meeting this week, but I will be getting updates, and I will update council if there's anything that requires that. Thanks.
Councillor Barkle.
I attended the Air Cadets review last Sunday, and actually had never been to one before, but found it quite impressive. And the local Air Cadets is a growing organization. They've gone from 6 to 20 this year, and they hope to grow from there. And they've developed an association with the Cold Lake Air Force Station, and hope to do an exchange to have the cadets go up there at some point. They're going to start fundraising for that. And my participation in the Action Festival was only as far as the beer garden, because that's where everybody I knew was.
Okay.
Mine's
Councillor
pretty
Traynor.
short. I just wanted to briefly talk about Bike to Work Week. That wrapped up on May 31st, and we had 55 riders this year. That's up from 35, so we're getting there. Every year, I think this is going to become a bigger and bigger event. And myself, Councillor Carlson, John Arndt, and Nada Hildebrand, we were the organizing committee, and we're really happy with how it went. And I'd also like to thank all the local businesses that sponsored this event. So looking forward to doing it again next year. And also thanks to all the district staff who participated as well. And I ran the 10K on Saturday for Action Fest. This was my 4th time doing it, and it's always really fun. It was incredibly hot, and I thought I was going to die at some points, but it's really fun to run. It's a really good vibe, really good energy, and I always love doing it. So thanks to Brenda and her team and all of the volunteers that helped at Action Fest.
So I want to know, are your times improving, or are you going downhill like the rest of us?
I actually added 2 minutes this year because it was so hot.
I see. Okay.
But everybody that I talked to, their
Okay,
times
that
are up,
figured,
so.
yeah. Thank you.
It's because of the heat. I'm blaming the heat.
Okay, any comments from the public? We've now got an open session for public comment. Anybody like to rise? Yes. Just come and state your name, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and fellow councillors. My name is Dolores Willoughby, and I wanted to thank Tony, Councillor Tony, and the rest of the councillors that met with me to talk about laundry services being contracted out. I work at the hospital, and I realize how important it is to have fresh linen in-house. And there's also the environmental issue of trucks traveling from Vancouver or Alberta throughout the Okanagan. That is another big issue, as well as, most importantly, the laundry workers losing their jobs. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Hearing none. Press? Yes.
I have, I guess, a general question with regard to Vicky Lightfoot's presentation and the information that she presented for the staff to follow up on. Okay, and I guess my question is, what exactly, or I realize you can't answer in detail, but in general, how will the staff go about this? Will you address those specific recommendations you have, or how will you approach this, please? And will you present a report at some time in the future?
Without reviewing the material yet that she's left behind, I would review it first, and then what she's looking at, from my understanding more than anything, is a policy of council towards it. So that's where we would start, would be researching the policies that other municipalities have implemented, look at the material she's got, and then bring that general one back for council for further direction. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. John?
I'll just leave it for you.
Oh, just later. Oh, thank you. Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment, please? Councillor Boot, Councillor Peak, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.